Hyperia at Thorpe Park opened on the 24th of May 2024 for one day, and luckily many people managed to ride it on that day, which means varied opinions have been floating around. Is it slow? Is it not that intense? Is Icon's airtime better? Of course it's a no to that last one. But much like you guys may have, I also managed to luckily get a few rides in on opening day, and I have experienced Hyperia a whopping 4 times. So using my rides in my varied seats on the train, I am going to discuss today my honest thoughts and opinions on Hyperia, the UK's tallest and fastest roller coaster that hopefully reopens soon. And let me tell you, there's a few things here that you may agree with, or you might not. It's an opinion after all. So be sure to watch till the end to see my full thoughts. Oh, and whilst you're at it, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're almost at 70,000 subscribers now, which is insane. Thank you so much for the support. So if you'd like to help towards that goal, it would be greatly appreciated. So then, as I do with every honest opinion video, you've got the one from Nemesis Reborn. Are there any others? Either way, what I do is I don't just go for the ride's layout and sort of talk about, oh, it goes up and down. Oh, no. I also mention the whole experience as you enter the ride's area. So that's where we're going to start today. We need to enter the area of Fearless Valley. Now on opening day, they did have this bit sectioned off quite a bit, so it wasn't so open, and you did sort of have to walk through a very sectioned off bit of queue to actually get into the area. But other than that, it was a lovely little walk in. Even had some lovely balloons over the top. But genuinely, if you take it back a week before that area opened, even earlier on in the day, on the Thursday before it opened, it looked so unfinished. So the fact that they've gone from that to this in a very short amount of time, it's actually very impressive because it does look really nice. They've got this really cool looking floor, such as like the Chessington flooring. I know they use that sort of floor a lot. I'm now a floor specialist, you know, and that floor leads up to the absolutely amazing archway that's golden white, and that does really make a great entrance for this ride. It's not often that you get a massive archway piece, a massive entrance sign for a roller coaster, especially in the UK. So to have this and stealth one, very cool. In some of the dead space where there's nothing really happening, they have put some softwood play-grade wood chips on the floor. And as much as I would like it to be grass and have these nice like topiaries, some trees, some bushes, no, we got wood chippings. Considering how last minute that entire area was, including those sorts of dead spaces where they've chucked the wood chippings, fair enough, it does look decent. But I'm getting sidetracked by the floors. I keep becoming the floor specialist. I'm actually a roller coaster designer. I created Hyperia. Nice to meet you, the name is John Burton. But no, seriously, when we walk up to the entrance sign for Hyperia, it is a great entrance sign. And I've said that already. And when you enter the queue when there's no barriers across it because it's currently broken, you get the choice of either going to main entrance, ride access pass, fast track, or even single rider queue. And I did use the single rider for one ride, and it is really, really effective. So if you're going on your own, or even just wanting to use the single rider queue because someone else doesn't want to go on it and you're the only one that does, do it. It's very good. And as for the queues themselves, the ride access fast track and that single rider queue go left, and they sort of take one corner, maybe another little corner, and then they're into the batching area. The main queue, however, is a whole lot longer because my god, is it a caged cattle pen nightmare. I understand completely that they have limited space underneath the ride and they can only do so much with the sort of area they have. But oh my god, I do wish it was a little more spaced out. You turn right as you enter the main queue from that entrance sign. You enter the first massive cattle pen queue. You go round towards the turnaround at the back, which is really cool actually. I love that view, and especially that queue section where it's sort of going out and there's little bits in the middle, some little signs and stuff saying trapped. That bit is the nicest part of the queue, I'd say. You go back on yourself, passing that massive cattle pen again, and you go underneath the ride structure, where again, it's a caged cattle pen nightmare. And I know cages and nets above the head and stuff like that is all safety related. Oh, but I really wish it wasn't there. Health and safety shouldn't exist. Wait, no, I didn't say that. You head round a little bit more and you end up at the batching point along with the other queues. Now, I know with Nemesis Reborn, I was sort of talking a whole lot more about the queue line and the experience of it, but other than the views of the ride and a couple signs and screens, there's not much to the queue of Hyperia. Not much to talk about with that one, I'm afraid. But this is where the experience really sets in. You head up some more caged stairs and you enter the station building, which from the outside looks like a classic shoebox. But no, I would say the inside of that station is really, really good. There's loads of maps, signs, drawings, even an anvil in the top right with loads of wing pieces next to it because they're forging it. And they've done a really good job for how small of a station it was, and considering it's just a metal box. You enter the air gates and get on the very comfy, very bulky, restrainted trains. But as with any Mack roller coaster, these trains are so comfy. Like I said, the seats just blissful. And you're really high up, so your feet are dangling. Technically, it's an invert. As you exit the station, the projection I was talking about in the station goes off, and you sort of see the wings filling up and being forged, and then you sort of go out the station, and all the lights follow you behind. There's some smoke. A very cool start to the ride. And you enter your first element, which is sort of a heavily outer banked, slow turn. And that bit does make you lean out of your seat quite a bit. I do very much enjoy that build-up. It's like Untame's one, but a little bit slower. I like it. You then proceed to enter the lift hill. The lift hill itself engages when it's not got a broken motor at the top, and you head up to the max height of 236 feet. And if you look forward or right, your views are very much filled with the M3. But genuinely, my first ever ride on this, I looked backwards on the lift hill and the view is unmatched. Such a strange view of such a very island-esque park. It's like no other view I've ever seen. And here we go then, you crest the top of the lift hill and you go into that first drop. Absolutely mind-blowing. Whether you're on the front or back on this drop, you just go flying. You just don't stop going out of your seat. And I am going to bring out the airtime indicator on this one, because as you can see right here, look at me in the bottom, how long I have my hands up for is how long the airtime is. It's just... it has to be the craziest drop in the world. If you're on the front, you still go out of your seat as much as you do on the back, but the back just whips you over regardless. And you twist down towards the ground, going up into that fast-paced immelment. And that element gives very strong floater airtime in my opinion. You sort of feel like you're coming out of your seat a little bit, but not like ejecting out. And I really like that feeling. It's a little break from the ejector airtime. I know you've only had one proper bit, but the rest of the ride is relentless. You drop down from the immelment and have your on-ride photo taken, which is a pretty good place to have it, as much as we didn't think it would be, because you're still sort of reacting to what the hell has just happened, so it's a very good photo point. And then you go up into this outwards banked barrel roll thing. Still doesn't have a name, by the way. It just didn't feel real the first time I went on it. Like, I just don't remember on my first ride going through that element. I was bewildered. But genuinely, after riding this a few times, I would say that is my second favourite element on the ride. The first being that first drop. You get whipped out of your seat on the roll down, and then you head up into the dive loop. That stall. What on earth? You hang there for what feels like years, and you're sort of just there like this, just hanging upside down for ages. And it is so cool. You can flip the screen the other way, and no matter where you're sit on that, you do get a lot of hang time. And coming down from that dive loop, we then go into what is probably one of my least favourite parts of the ride, and one of my main criticisms about it, and that is the splashdown element. And the reason for this is because not only does it slow you down, it also doesn't get you wet. Why? You sort of feel it, like you're sort of going through at a pace, and then you feel like a little jolt like that, and you feel the trims. I wish it wasn't there. Although, to be fair, the splashdown does make a cool noise. It's like... I do like that noise. You then go into a wave turn, which is a very underrated element on the ride, because if you're on the front, you do just pop out of your seat massively. Although if you are on the back, you slow down a little bit as you're entering it, and you just get whipped down the rest. It's just ejector all the way. Turn in towards the final airtime hill, you pop out your seat one more time, and you hit the brake run. And when I hit the brakes every single time, I never once thought, oh, that was really short, because it packs a punch enough for the layout it has. But as you may have realised, most honest opinions, I talk about the layout, and as I'm going, I do talk a little bit about the theming and the landscaping. Well, sadly, there's just none of that on Hyperia. On opening day, it looked like a construction site. There was mud and rubble everywhere. The lake in the middle looked like a dirty bog of water. And as much as there's trees planted in and around the queue line and stuff, and the main area, I guess, there wasn't any in the ride area. It's just pure rubble. There are photoshopped images of when the ride is completely grown over with grass and trees and stuff, and it looks lovely. I really hope they grow as soon as possible. Use some bone meal on it. Classic Minecraft days. I just really love Hyperia's layout. Like, to think we have something like that in the UK, crazy. It's just a shame the landscaping doesn't support it as much. So for that reason, I'm going to rank this in two separate ways, but also the second is just the combined score. Because I'd give the coaster layout a 9.8 out of 10, I'd say the 0.2 is purely because of that splashdown slowing you down. And I'd give the landscaping and theming probably a 3 or 4 out of 10. As an overall experience and package ride, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think that's fair, because the theming and landscaping isn't there, but the ride and coaster layout really is. What are your thoughts on Hyperia if you've ridden it? Or are you going to ride it? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and make sure you subscribe to the channel.